All right, so let's go through this together.
It's a joke.
We'll just save time and get right on it here. It says find the measure of an angle between 0 and 360 coterminal with each given angle. So number one, if I start with negative 323 degrees and I want an angle between 0 and 360, what do I do? I'm going to add 360 onto that, so my answer is 7. If I want an angle that is coterminal with negative 4 degrees, but I want it to be in between 0 and 360, it should be what?
37.
That's what I said. And then I add 360 onto that, and I get 356.
Oh my gosh, that's just good.
Okay? And then for number 3,
Would you subtract?
yep, I'm already bigger than 360 degrees, so instead of adding 360 onto that, I'm going to subtract 360 from it, and that gives me 10. Okay? So, you're just adding or subtracting 360 on
So
there.
is it going to be like that on the test? Or are you
No, the test is going to be different than this, and you guys are going to freak out about it, but you're just going to have to get over it.
Can you give us a practice sheet that also looks like
No, I'm not going to baby you like that and give you this, and then on the test, instead of being negative 323, it's negative 333. So you do the exact same thing, which is change the numbers. That's not necessarily learning. That's just mimicking.
Yeah,
So the practice test is close to.
But make it harder than that.
Okay, so number 4. Well, you look like an idiot because you sit in class all the time not paying any attention to what's going on. It has nothing to do with the practice test.
It might.
It has to do with your lack of
Definitely a
attention.
factor.
Okay, 4 through 6. Write each measure in radians. So we need to just multiply by pi over 180 and then reduce. So what number goes into 180 and 315 both evenly? What do you got, Jefferson? 5? That's going to take a long time. How about 45?
There you go.
How many times does 45 go into 315?
7.
Okay, so we decided that 45 goes in here 7 times. 45 goes in there 4 times, right? So it's 7 pi over 4. And you could get that, like Jefferson said, you could go by 5 first, and then we would have ended up going by 9 or 3 or something like that. We would have got there eventually, okay? All right, and then if you wanted that as a decimal to the nearest hundredth, you just work it out on your calculator. I'm not worried about that.
Do we have to?
Nope. Okay, same thing for negative 450 degrees. Multiply by pi over 180. What goes into both of them? What? 90. 90 goes in here negative 5 times. 90 goes in there twice. Okay? And then I don't feel a need to do the same thing. I guess I'll just do it, otherwise you'll freak out. 210 degrees. Multiply by pi over 180. What goes in there evenly? 30 goes into 210 7 times and goes into 180 6 times. Yeah? Can I go? All right, next ones we're going the other way around. So now we're taking radians and changing them into degrees. So I have to multiply by 180 over pi. Yay, the pi's cancel. Sorry. Yay. The pi's cancel. So 4 goes into 180 45 times is 405. 315.
Oh my God.
Okay, same dealio, bless you. 5 pi over 3, I multiply by 180 over pi.
300.
It's going to come out to be 300 because the pi's cancel. 3 goes into 180 60 times, and 60 times 5 is 300. All right. And number 9, 6 pi.
We just cross multiply there.
Pretty much. pi's cancel. 6
I like
times
this
180 is 360 times 3. What is it? 1080? All right. Anything crazy so far?
Just hold up.
What? Yeah, I just did the same thing. I multiplied by 180 over pi. Pi's cancel. 6 times 180, 1080. Just the exact same thing every single time. The only difference was this time there wasn't anything to divide by.
Oh, okay, so on the other one, 180 times 5 back and 33.
Yes. Yes. All right. Number 10. The measure of theta of an angle, you find the exact values of cosine and sine. So negative 120 is going to be, here is 90. So I have to go 30 more. But what's important is the angle that that makes with the x-axis, okay, which is going to be 60. Does that make sense? Okay, so that means since the 30 is over here this time, that one is 1/2, and this one is negative, or is root 3 over 2. They're both negative because we're in the third quadrant. So the coordinates of this point are negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. So that means the cosine of negative 120 is the x-coordinate, or negative 1/2. And the sine of negative 120 degrees is the y-coordinate, or negative root 3 over 2. Okay?
So cosine is x.
Cosine is x, sine is y. Cosine comes before sine in the alphabet, x comes before y. Easy to remember. So you just have to find the coordinates of that point, and then the x-coordinate is the cosine, the y-coordinate is the sine.
Oh, okay.
If you needed to come up with the secant, it would be 1 over that. If you had to come up with the cosecant, it would be 1 over that.
Is it gonna ask us?
It might. You should be able to know that. That's something that we, air quotes, learned in this chapter.
Cosine is the.
Cosine is the x. If you want to hurt myself, if you're asking that.
Wait, what's cosine?
Good. You don't like me very much. Are you taking math with me next year?
I don't know why you can't.
Are you? Are you taking math?
I tried to like you. Seem to really not like me, so it's hard.
I wonder why. All right, 135 degrees is right there.
I'm taking math.
Okay. So this is 135 degrees, but again, I want this reference triangle. So 45, 45, 90, so that gives me root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2, which means that, what? The x is negative because we went left first. The y is positive because we went up. So that means that the cosine of 135 degrees is negative root 2 over 2. And the sine of 135 degrees is positive root 2 over 2.
Well, use notes on test, right?
You are allowed to use notes on tests. Very down. Okay, 12. Now we're in radians.
What was this sign?
No big
So we
deal.
have
What
to
do I
change
do?
it into-
Change it into degrees.
60.
Should be able to kind of do that in your head. That's going to come out to be 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is an easy one because it's already in the first quadrant. Obviously that's a 30, 60, 90. This is going to be 1/2. That's root 3 over 2. They're both positive. So the cosine of 60 is 1/2. And the sine of 60 is root 3 over 2.
So cosine. Okay, got that.
Okay?
I can get 20. I don't know why. I'll just keep trying to do 20 in my calculator, like it tells me to, and it won't like give me the answer.
So it must be undefined. Okay, number 13. If you look at the pretty little how many cycles does that have?
1.
1. Thank tricked you. The picture goes all the way from 0 to 4 pi.
Oh, but 2 pi.
They want to know how many cycles it has in the interval from 0 to pi. And since it only goes up and then down, that means it has one cycle. Okay? What is the amplitude? The amplitude is 3 because it bounces between -3 and 3. What is the period? 2 pi over 1, which is 2 pi.
Wait, can you wait?
1 is the number of cycles it's completing in between 0 and 2 pi.
Whoa. And 2. What is the one?
The amplitude is 3 because it bounces in between -3 and 3. Kua?
For number 14, is it going to be 2 pi also?
Holy crap, how many cycles does it have in there?
I can't read where it says.
How did you get the period?
Does it say 2 pi? It doesn't say that.
I can't even read the number.
Oh no, yeah, it does. 2 pi is the last line.
Isn't it 8? It's 8 because you got to do that last one, don't you? That last one with a little arrow on it? Okay, so I think it's 8. What's that? 1 is the number of cycles that are completed between 0 and 2 pi.
How'd you get the period? Is it just 2 pi?
2 pi over 1, which is 2 pi.
Pi over 1 is how many cycles?
Yeah, that's how many cycles it completes in 2 pi. That's your B.
How are there only 8? How is there only 8?
Weirdo.
Panic, everybody! What, Katie? What are you stressing
How are there
on?
only 8?
On number 14?
Yeah.
Well, you got to start at the origin.
Definitely cycle.
Okay, so that means you can ignore some of the stuff on the left.
Okay.
All right, so if you start at the origin, you go up and then down and then back to the middle, that's 1. Up and then down and then back to the middle is 2. And that is at pi over 2.
Okay.
So up and down, yeah, you can multiply that by 4. But anyway, up and down, back to the middle is 3. You just keep counting, and it turns out that there are 8 cycles. You might put 7 because it looks like that last one doesn't finish, so that's a bad job of the author of the test. That arrow should go all the way up to the x-axis technically, but you're just gonna, okay?
What's the period?
The amplitude is 4.
The period is 2 pi over 8.
And then since it completes 8 cycles in the interval from 0 to 2 pi, that means the period is 2 pi over 8, and that reduces to pi over 4. Okay, 15, now you have to do the same thing based on the equation. Thank you. Yes, the amplitude is 3, and the period is pi over 2.
How'd you get the period?
Isn't it like 2 pi over 4?
It's 2 pi over 4, which reduces to pi over 2. Okay? Number 16. Yeah, amplitude cannot be negative. So the amplitude is 2. And then the period is 2 pi over 8, good, which reduces to pi over 4. Waiting. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Are they going to be?
You actually have to like show that you've learned, not just show that you can grab it. No, I took out the graph one. All right, number 17. We're solving the equation cosine pi t equals -1. So I'm going to graph cosine pi t, and I'm going to graph -1. And they want this on the interval from 0 to 2 pi, so I'm going to make sure that my thing is between 0 and 2 pi, and it is. So I just need to find out where those two graphs intersect.
Wait, what was the second one?
Change the-
I need to change the,
Did you put negative one in for
didn't I put in -1? Yeah, because that's what it equals.
that? Yeah.
I need to change my window since I want -1 here. I'm going to make my y minimum be -2 and my y maximum be, whoops, my y maximum be 2, so I can see a little bit better what's going on. So there's the cosine graph. And there's the y equals -1. So how many intersection points do I have to find?
1, 2,
3 of them.
4.
Uno, dos, tres. So second calc 5. Yes, yes, yes. I'm just going to do this one first because it was there already. So that comes out to be about 3. Right?
So test
This
on
is
Monday.
18, no?
That's the MO. Second calc 5. Yes, yes. Then I'm going to move this guy over closer to where it crosses there. And hit enter. And you get what?
Why does it
About
got
1. 0.9 repeating. I'm going to just round that up to 1. Call me crazy. Any guesses what the next one's going to be? 7.
0.
1, 3,
5.
7.
5. 5.
It's 5.
Doing that weird ass thing again.
Yeah, then they got a typo on the next one.
Do it, yay.
I wonder what they're trying to put in there. So second calc 5, enter, enter, move it over to close to where they guess, and that looks like it's about 5. Nice job.
Do the S in a futuristic.
Then for number 18, 4 cosine t equals, don't know what that is, so let's not do it. I do say so. Well, let's see, yeah.
Whoa.
All right, write a
You want us to round
function,
up on these?
a cosine function that fits each description. So y equals 1/4, because it said the amplitude is 1/4. And then to find out the number that goes in front of the variable,
pi.
you go 2 pi divided by 2, which is pi. So it's going to be pi x.
Data.
Yep.
Wait, so there wouldn't be a period in the equation for 20? Well, like
There wouldn't be a pi in there, you mean? Number 20 is going to be y equals, the amplitude is 3, so it's 3 cosine. And then to figure out what number goes in front of the x or the
It's
theta,
4.
or whatever, I go 2 pi divided by pi over 2. So that's 2 pi times 2 over pi. So those cancel and give me 4. Okay? Ready?
No.
Yep.
Overruled for us. All right, if I want to go 4 units to the left,
Put it in parentheses.
it's going to be inside the parentheses because I'm shifting it left or right. Good, and then it's opposite because it's inside the parentheses. So if I want to shift it to the left, I go +4 instead of -4. For this one, if I want to go pi over 4 units to the right, then it's going to be in parentheses minus pi over 4. We'll shift me to the right. Good, and then up to +2. Remember when I gave you a quiz that was stuff just exactly like this, but it was some different function? I don't remember what
It was kind of like a small
and you guys
test.
just like panicked and we're all like 15 people. What? I don't remember that.
I remember Mackenzie's screaming.
Remember that one test no one did?
That's the one I'm talking
Oh,
about.
that one.
Everybody
That
freaked
one.
out.
And it did well. That was all the tests.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, and then the last 4, we just did these. So I'm hoping you can do this on your own. But I'll do the first one to get you started and then let you work on the last 3 on your own. Negative 30 degrees is going to give you a little reference triangle that looks like this. So across from the 30 is a half, across from the 60 is a root 3 over 2. So the coordinates of this point are root 3 over 2, comma, negative 1/2. Secant is the inverse of cosine. Cosine is the x-coordinate. So this is going to be 1 over the x-coordinate, or 1 over root 3 over 2, which is going to be 2 over root 3.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, could you multiply it by
If
the
you multiply by the reciprocal, 1 over it, you just flip it over.
So
That's
it's
easy.
Line 5.
How about root 2 over root 3?
I thought it was still gonna be.
How about 9 over 4?
Is it not gonna be
Why is it root 2?
2 over root 3?
It's 2 over root 3, yes.
You said root 2.
You can go away.
I called it.